What did it mean to have Antonita back hitting threes and kind of seeing that she's kind of getting back into a little bit of a groove now?
It's big for our program. It's big for this ball club. She's felt good conditioning wise the past 2 weeks, but there's a big difference between running sprints and being on a treadmill to getting out there and getting your game legs. When you got to stop and get your composure and knock down a shot, it takes a while. And I still think she's about a week away from getting back and into her prime. But to have her being a threat out there from behind the three-point line, and then Tia Gibbs. Tia, this is, I'm not expecting 4-7 every night and to score 20. But Tia's a very capable three-point shooter. And I add those two with Shoney. Now all of a sudden you've got three on the floor who can spread things out, because as we did all last year a lot, Antonita will play the four for us. So now it's a mismatch problem for a lot of people.
That run to open the second half, how obviously it
It's
did wonders for your team, but I mean, where'd that come from?
Well, I mean, I just talked to the kids at halftime. I mean, there was no yelling or screaming. I said, hey, everything that we've been preaching to you all and telling you we have to do better, we did poor again. I keep telling them, I mean, make a different mistake. I'm all for working hard. Just do something different wrong. Like we don't box out on the free throw line and it turns into a three for them. We didn't rebound the first 12 or 13 minutes of the game, and that's really how they got their lead. And then we missed point-blank shots. And that's what I'm saying. I said, those are three things we have to change. And then the other thing we talked about, especially with SMU, is how well they get out on the break. And, I mean, the first half, they were killing us in the break. So I just said at halftime, I said, hey, again, the things that we told you were going to get you beat is why you're down 2. And I thought at halftime we came out and corrected a lot of those mistakes. And then our intensity really ramped up as we tried to change some things on defense, try to come up with some traps and try and make them uncomfortable. And I think, we came out of the half with a really nice run.
Speaking of defense, it seemed at some points in the first half that Keita Mays was shooting jumpers at will. Was there any emphasis?
Oh, she was. She was. I figured if we didn't guard her, it might shock her. When you're used to being defended every game, when you're left wide open, it's like, what's going on? And that philosophy did not work. So it's what it looked like, didn't it? Yeah, it looked like when she got it, it was like, hey, she's no good, don't guard her. And we did that well. She's a special player. I mean, she had 11 in the first 8 minutes of the game. And then she ended up with 14 at the half. And I thought we did a much better job of locating her in transition. And then the second half, we were trying to be there on the catch and trying to make it difficult for her. But she's special.
She's a leading scorer in the conference, and obviously SMU looks to her to do an awful lot. How does she stack up against some of the better guards that you see over the course of the season?
What she can do with a pull-up jump shot is impressive. That's the one thing, in my opinion, that separates the good players from the great players. In women's basketball, if you've got a good pull-up jump shot, you can be special, because there aren't many that can do that, especially going hard one way or the other, stopping and popping. That's really what made Angel McCoughtry a great player back when we had her here. She had a pull-up jump shot that was as good as anybody's. And when you can come off a ball screen and attack a post player, then stop and pop, it's hard to defend, and that's what Mays can do. She's one of the top 5-6 guards in our league. There's no question. And I'm going to tell you, the one that she's gotten in foul trouble twice when we played them that is as big a concern for me as Mays is Simpson. She's the one that I love. I absolutely love her game. She competes, she gets down, she uses her strength, undersized post player, but is not afraid to compete. And when she picked up those 2 early fouls, I was thrilled, because she's the one that I'm really concerned about.
Karina Baker surprised you today, hitting 4 threes?
Yeah, some, but at the same time, it's like I tell our kids, our goal was to try to challenge her to make a couple. Well, after she makes 2 of them, now I'm no longer challenging to make any. We got to try to guard you. We lose her on an out-of-bounds play that they just simply throw a skip pass and she steps into it and shoots it. We tried to slice up the middle on one of their double stagger away screens, and they just skip it for a 3. And those are the things that we weren't supposed to do. So like, when you're playing good basketball teams, when you have breakdowns, they're going to score on you. And that's really was probably my biggest concern tonight, or today, was the fact that we had breakdowns that we normally don't have. We normally, like, I thought Mays, after the first 7-8 minutes, we really did a nice job containing her and making things hard for her. But at the beginning, when you let a player as talented as she is start to feel good, she can start to make some tough shots.